So hello, hola, hola de España. The birds sound the same here. They do not chirp in Spanish. I have to be a little careful crossing the streets here, even though the circulation of traffic here is way more familiar to any North American or Canadian. Very soon I'll be in the quiet zone. My trip from England was pretty uneventful. I left London in the rain at about 10 degrees Celsius it was, and I get here and it's overcast. Got here at 9 o'clock at night. There is an hour of time difference between England and Spain. I'm not sure whether that's daylight saving or whatever, but 7 o'clock England is 8 o'clock Spain. There was one issue that EasyJet, the carrier that I was using, had to deal with, and that was an industrial dispute by air traffic control in France. They were limiting the number of planes flying over French territory. So our flight took an extra 15 minutes because we had to fly around France basically instead of over. Which was no big deal. I'm running towards the dried up riverbed of the Turia River. On Wednesday.
Ya llegará, cuando llegue escribe, señora.
On Wednesday, the 27th of January. Safely across. You can see up ahead the lights of the athletic stadium. That is actually in the riverbed. Way back in the 50s there was a major flood, and after that the Valencianos decided to recourse the river. So it's now about 5 miles to the, what would it be, 5 miles to the west of its original course. And the dried up riverbed they converted into a linear park, which they use extensively, as you will soon hear. One last road crossing and I'm free. Away from the automobile. My cousin Aurora was telling me yesterday that they have built a running path above the pedestrian, well not above, but adjoining the pedestrian promenade. I'm going to test that out. It looks quite busy. This is new to me from last year. We'll see how far it goes. Yeah, it's a sort of a crushed cinder track, a bit like the clay courts of old, the clay tennis courts. 1 kilometer. That's probably quite accurate from when I left my mother's Valencia flat. The flat that I'm staying in at the moment has been extensively rewired. And I've moved in for a few days, about 2 days after the electricians have been there. I don't think this running path has really changed the feel of the run. It just means that I'm less likely to see people on bicycles. This path is exclusively for runners. To my left there's some decorative fountains. It's interesting to see the different vegetation. Hola. Yep, you'll be hearing me say hola or buenas, which means hello or good day. Hola. Buenas. So there was a black runner. Who knows where he was from? But his ancestors most definitely were from Africa. This running track is basically an upgrade of the dirt trail that the runners made. There is a grassy section down the middle. I hear a runner behind me. I'm going to have to stop quite soon to tie my shoelace. I'll let them get past. The Spaniards seem to be a very active race. Probably because a lot of them are unemployed. Hang on a second. A lot of them are unemployed. I think about a quarter of the potential workforce is without jobs at the moment, which is sad. But then again, a lot of the men have taken early retirement, and like myself, they are very keen to remain healthy for their grandchildren. My lace wasn't actually undone, but it was loose, and it was annoying when one shoe feels snug and the other one feels loose. There is a varying array of athletics gear, ranging from this guy in a tank top and short shorts to me with my normal jackal outfit, the yellow bandana, my burgundy colored sweater atop my short sleeve technical shirt and my baggy board shorts. Excuse me, that was not my porridge. One of the reasons I am so fond of these shorts is the fact that they have pockets everywhere. I have with me in my shorts my reading glasses, the keys to my mother's town apartment. What else? Oh yeah, my wallet, because I intend to do some grocery shopping on the way back. I think they're most curious about my headgear. But one nice thing about getting old and having a beard is that the grey hair in my beard excuses me of the convention of being cool. The Spaniards like being cool. They are very cool conscious. But as an old gaffer, I can get away with being uncool. Fluorescent green seems to be the color trim by choice this year. Or as the English would say, high visibility clothing. Just going under an ancient stone bridge, of which I will take a photograph. Yeah, the lighting isn't bad. It is a little overcast, but that's good for photography because there's no shadows. I'm walking on the path, well, I'm standing on the path where those girls are walking. You notice I almost have to correct every statement that I make. Nothing new for the sky. I have the option of correcting myself. There was a guy about my age. Yep, I definitely am going to leave my sweater behind tomorrow. My Aunt Carmen, when I arrived, gave me typical Spanish snack of half a baguette with ham, Spanish ham, and a bowl of chicken noodle soup, which really hit the spot. Sounds like the parakeets have followed me to Spain. I've seen exactly the same species of parakeet here as I saw yesterday. No, the day before in Richmond Park. Yesterday was a day off, travel day. But on Monday, I did a double workout. By my reckoning, I'm up to 3 kilometers. So that's about 20, 21. Probably a little less, probably 20 minutes of running so far. And about 10 minutes of recording under another Moorish bridge. Yeah, I just passed the 2 kilometer mark on this cinder trail. Getting closer to the center of Valencia, sticking to my cinder track. Yeah, this is much better than last year because 90% of the runners are using this track, and most of the other park users are using the main drag down the middle. Yep, these runners are much like the English, quite serious. Yet another ancient stone bridge. This is the Trinity Bridge. To my left is one of the many art museums that I will visit when my friend Alan flies in from Toronto, Canada. He's going to be spending 2 weeks with me. Even though the traffic is on either side of the river, you can still hear it here in the middle. The actual width of the park is about 200 meters across, maybe slightly less. And from end to end, it has been beautified for utilization for about 15 kilometers. So there's no end of out and back options. That was a group of 3 young women. So real time today is 9:43 Mediterranean time. This is a slightly wider stone bridge. No need for trail shoes here. This is flat and smooth. Much like the Galloping Goose Trail back home. I think I'm going to do 6 kilometers in either direction, and I've done approximately 4. So I have about 14 more, slightly less than 14 minutes. I think I'm doing probably 6:15 per kilometer, which would average out at about 6:30 with my stops for crossing roads and for taking pictures. Let's see, the other thing I like about this app that I'm using, it doesn't differentiate between running and walking. All it tells you is total time, running time, moving time, and stopped time. So it's basically a hiking app with an activity tracker. It does not have a map downloaded yet. But when I get back to Carmen's flat, which is in the same building as my mother's town flat, I will be able to access her granddaughter's Wi-Fi network. Unfortunately, it is not strong enough to relay a signal down one floor to where I am. There is a local 10K being advertised, I noticed, but I think it'll probably happen when I'm relocated to Turia, my beach address. So 1 more kilometer in this direction, and then I turn. Yep, I think this mild, muggy weather has caught a lot of us out today. There will be still more sweaty gear to wash. Yet another bridge. I must admit, I really like the fact that they've given a path designated specifically for runners. Instead of calling them multi-use trails, they have made multiple linear trails running parallel through the trees, down, down, down. I am running towards the sea, so this would have been the flow in this direction. But because I'm so close to the estuary, it is very flat. That is one of the reasons why it flooded back in the 50s. Another stone bridge. I think I just heard 5 kilometers. And the signage here, in a second, I will tell you what it says. 4.6, 4 kilometers, 600 meters. You can see how they've geared the signage for interval sprinters. The other thing I notice about this running track is they have embedded floor level lighting, so at night this would be quite a place to run. And in the hotter season, I'm sure this trail is very popular at night. So I'm back on pavement again. This runs by one of the large display halls where they would hold classical music, concerts, and the like. I'm being directed back onto the cinders. One of my cousins is living with Aunt Carmen, and it's her daughter's Wi-Fi that I'm using when I go upstairs. I will buy food today, so she won't feel obliged to feed me. But since yesterday, I've eaten an entire baguette of bread and eaten about 500 grams of prosciutto, which is very similar to the Spanish ham. Here they call it jamón serrano, which means the ham from the plains, from the sierras actually. Serrano means from the sierra. Maybe it's the mountains. Sierra is the word for a saw, so that implies a jagged edge. Well, this running trail is now looping back. I guess if I wanted to continue further, I would be on the multiple use trail. Yep, it loops around all the way around this bridge, so I will go back the way I came. It's a pure 360 loop. They probably have another loop around at the other end. There's a boot camp going on there in the open air. They got their yoga mats. They're doing their abdominal crunches at the moment. Another group. Very keen, they are 6 kilometers. I definitely heard that. Yep, so this run will be, as I guessed, about 12 kilometers, which is about 7 miles. The sun is beginning to break through now, which is nice. I'm about to pass a woman who would be more than welcome in the Slow Runners Club. She is barely lifting, as they say. That is the distinction between running and walking. With walking, you always have one foot on the ground. With running, there are times when you have no feet on the ground. And the only time a runner would have both feet on the ground is when he's not moving. Running up the back tail feathers of a dove. This place is definitely busier than last year. Either it means that there's more unemployment, more flex time workers, or more keen athletes. But as Louis's wife pointed out to me very correctly the other day, that England is one of the countries where it's probably easier and more entertaining to run in the towns because they have large municipal parks away from the cars, and they also have well-maintained sidewalks, or as pavements as they call them in England. I will take one more bridge picture in a minute. It's now 10 o'clock. I think I'll get into the habit of starting my chrono watch when I start recording. It'll take out a lot of the guesstimations that I have to make as to the length of my program. But I guess to err on the side of brevity would probably be a wise move for somebody who is more than likely going to put out a bonus show each week. Running under a grove of orange trees. Did you notice the Doppler effect? The Doppler effect is less extreme, less pronounced the further away from the road. As I say, I'm about 200 meters from the road, so that emergency vehicle was passing me at quite a distance to my right. The excellent thing about these converted riverways is that however old the city is and however old the infrastructure is, they always had the river running down the middle. Now, they don't have a river down the middle. They have us running down the middle. And all these trees have basically grown since the river left this spot. I'm just coming up to my last photo opportunity, probably around the 8-kilometer mark of this run. I heard Kevin's most excellent podcast yesterday on the most excellent platform, Spreaker. It really is so good to have that site. I know most of my colleagues use various platforms that lend themselves to the iTunes format. But I, quite frankly, am quite happy with the listenership that I'm getting from Spreaker. Yep. One more bridge, and I stop this recording and take a short video. So shout out time. Hi Norman. Hello Kevin. Bonjour Jim. Hello Mr. Hailstone. This is your foreign correspondent, the running jackal, saying goodbye to you and assuring you that I will diligently seek your material down this week. It'll be a lot easier for me when I have my own Wi-Fi. Mind you, I did find a bar just around the corner last night that was open at midnight, and they were kind enough to let me use their Wi-Fi so I could send a message to the people back home to say that I had arrived safely. So bye-bye from Valencia on Wednesday in late January.